Hello. So, I'm going to look at, just making a little video for you guys of the exercise that's called gentle waves. And I've got Joe here who's working through this with me as well. So you'll need your music. Make sure you've got your music in front because obviously I'm going to be describing things as we go along. So it's on page 37 of your grade 5 book. So the first thing to say, gentle waves is in 6/8. So just to remind you, there are two sorts of time signature in the world. There are simple time signatures, and there are not complex time signatures. Compound is the word we use, compound time signatures. So simple time signatures are things like 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, the things we did lots of when we were first playing. And remember, you can still have things in 2s, things in 3s, things in 4s, but in simple time signatures, when you split your beats, because obviously we don't just play beats all the time, do we? We have things breaking into bits of beats. Things tend to go, so if you're in 4/4, say, you get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you're in 2/4, you'd get 1 and 2 and, or 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1, that sort of thing. But in compound, we're going to go 1 and 2 and, so that is 1 and 2 and 1 and, so that's what we'd call compound duple, things in 2s. But with a compound feel, 1 and 2. Gentle waves is compound duple. It's in 6/8. Now 6/8 means 6 quavers, and if you look at your music, in fact, you can see those quavers right there. And you've got 3 in the left, 3 in the right. And the basic way it's going, we're not counting in 3s. Each beat has 3 bits to it, if you like. So it's going 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So actually, the beats are dotted crotchets. And you'll see when you've got a whole beat, it's not a crotchet, it's a dotted crotchet. So that's what's going on here. The feel of it all the way through is 1 and 2. So the final thing will move along quite a bit. It'll be going 1 and 2. So that's the sort of feel of it there, okay. Sorry, at the end it says senza ped, which means without pedal, and I think I actually put some in there, which is very very remiss of me, but you know, it's good things to just to point these things out. So senza pedal is actually without pedal, so at the end, and then you can put your pedal back in on the very end. But that, anyway, that's for another time now. So let's just try and get this thing going first of all. So that's the feel of it. So remember, you've got these groups, the quavers are grouped into 3s because they're compound beats. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. What else? We've got B flat in the key signature. Now F major has B flat in it, but so does the relative minor, D minor. And this piece, you can feel it's a bit sad, bit melancholy. So this is in D minor, this piece. Right, so we're gonna, let's just work on the left hand of the first line first of all. So in the left hand part, and Joe, just join in with me here as you want to, okay? So in the left hand, your first 3 notes are D, A, D, okay? So that's, now remember, those 3 notes make up one beat. 1 and the 2 under is in the other hand. So we're gonna go 1 and rest. And you'll notice the rest, even the rest is a dotted crotchet, isn't it? It's a crotchet rest with a dot after it. So because that is a whole beat, a dotted crotchet is a rest. It's a 1 beat rest, I should say. So it's 1 and, so that's your first one. Then in your second bar, you've still got the D, but you're going to pop a B flat and the D. That's it. And then on the next bar, we're going to have a B natural. And then on the next bar, we're going to go back to what we had in bar 2. So let's just try that all together. So Joe's going to play along with me here, and you can play along with it if you're looking at the video at home. So everything's in 2. So I'm going to go 1 and 2 and 1 and rest, 1 and rest, 1 and rest, 1 and rest. So that's basically what your right hand's doing. Shall we do one more? I'll put the right hand in, okay, but you just play the left hand with me, okay? Here we go. 1 and 2 and 1 and rest. 1 and rest. 1 and rest. 1 and rest. Okay. Okay, so you get the idea. So although I'm saying rest, of course, there is still stuff happening because you can hear there's notes in the right hand part, even though the left hand is resting. Let's look at the right hand part then. So the second beat is in the right hand and it goes E, F, A, C and E, like that. So let's try that a couple of times. So it's E. So if I play the left hand bit, just put the right hand bit in. So I go right hand. And that little bit at the end overlaps with the beginning of the next bar. Should we try it again? So here's the left, right hand. Okay. Now the next bit starts the same. So this is the end of the second bar. E, F, A. So that's all the same. But instead of stretching out to C and an E, you're going to go, that's it, Joe. You're going to go out to there. The other thing I should mention is that you start in your second, take your thumb under, and then bring your second over each time. Should we try that again? So if I do the left, so here's the left, right hand bit. Lovely. So then, if you look at the end of the third bar, you're going to go E, F, A. Now they haven't written any fingering in, but it's the same notes as before, so we're going to use the same fingers. 2, 1, 2. Now C is next, your 4 fingers on it. Back to the A, back to the C, back to the A, G. It doesn't tell you, but I'd take a wild guess. Put your second finger, or even your third finger, it doesn't really matter that much, but cross something onto that F, which is the very last note of the line. And then next line, can you see you've got a D? Okay, and then you were doing that. Right, so here we go again, just playing through the right hand. So I'll do all the left. So left hand, right hand. Four. Cross something, and then stop on D, so that's bar 5. Okay. We'll have a little go. You might want to just practice that by yourself, but when you feel ready, try doing it with me. So here's the first line. I'm going to stop on the first beat of bar 5, which is D's in both hands. So super, super slow. So here's the left hand bit. Here's the right hand all set up. 1 and 2 and left, right. Now we're going to overlap it. Now when we get here, C, A, C, then the right hand carries on its own, and D's. Okay, so it may take you a while to get that, but you can see what the important thing is, that we understand what we're trying to do with that. Okay, so I'm going to assume now that you've got enough there that you can carry on working on that first section on your own there. So remember 6/8. 6/8 is not really 6 anything. It literally means 6 quavers, and there are 6 quavers. You can see them in the first bar going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But we never go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We go 1 and 2 and the way they're grouped, the way you've got them in sets of 3, gives away or shows you how the beats work. So they're not going 1 and 2 and 3 and, which would be like 3, 4. They're going 1 and 2 and 1. So just keep that in the back of your mind, these 2 beats. Right, so folks, let's look at the second line now. I'm going to look, it doesn't really matter which hand we look at. Let's just look at the right hand first of all. So in bar 5, second line, we've ended on this D, and then the next note is A, and the next note is D. So although they haven't put any fingering in, it's kind of implied here, isn't it? Because if you put your little finger on the A, you're going to give yourself a really hard situation. So you've got to stretch out and go D, A, D. Then the same again. And the next bar is EAC, so it's kind of got to be E, A. I think that really has to be the fingering, okay? So we try that again, and go. Repeat. EAC. Then there's a quaver rest, so that's on the 2, and then the and is the AC. And then next bar, F, A, stretch out to the D. Okay, should we try? So that little quaver rest, put in a sniff, the good old sniff I like to do. So it goes, so from 5 it goes D, A, D, D, E, A, C. I'm going to sniff. A, C, F, A, D. And then the dotted crotchet rest, remember that's a beat. And then you're going to drop down. And can you see you've got B flat and D? The B flat's in the key signature. That's it. And they're suggesting 1 and 2. And that's going to be 1 and then the 2 and the is the quavers, which is this, C and G. Slowing down. So that last bit is C and G, then an A, and then a B flat. That's it, you got it, Joe. So C and G, yeah, so. And then D and A on the end, that's it. So all of the second line here. So here we go. If I just do a big and D, A, D, D, A, E, A, C. Don't forget to sniff. F, A, D. Hold for a whole beat. Then the B flat 1 and 2. Slowing down. I know we're already going really slow. Okay. One more. A tiny bit faster. Okay. I'll count it in this time. So 2 beats in. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, slowing down. Okay, should we try another one? 1 and 2 and E, A, C. Rest. B flat and D. Stretch up a bit. Pulling back. That's it. Let's just look at that very end bit. So you've got your thumb on a C and your third, you see they've got the 3 written over it? Because you'll naturally want to do that, but if you put your little finger on it, you're going to end up hopping up. So you need to use your third and go. And then you can smoothly walk up to the B flat and you'll end on 1 and 4 because you're just going to step back onto that. So there we go. That's your right hand bit. Let's have a look at the left hand. We're starting on D on bar 5. It doesn't tell you what finger, but kind of you had your little finger on that all the way through, haven't you? Because in the first line it was going that. So we ended up like that. So you got your little finger there on bar 5. So you go D on the first beat. Remember the dotted crotchet is a beat. Then the second beat, which is the 3 quavers, is. Then the first beat of the next bar is A and C, and as you would expect for a whole beat, it's a dotted crotchet. And then we're going to walk up, D, E, so that's the same as a 4, but this time we're going to stretch up and go. Then we're going to walk up again, D, E, F, just keep walking, up to A, coming down. Now careful, the next note is E with your third finger. Can you see where it's got the 3 written? And the same idea as the right hand, but the other way round. You're going to end up with a D and an A, but you'll have your, of course you had your little finger there, you'll have your 4th finger on the D. So, let's do that a couple of times. Second line, left hand. Okay, here we go. And D, D, E, F, chord. Stretch up with a B natural, D, walk all the way to the top. Now stretch your third onto E, walk down. That's it. And one more. So I'll give us a count in a little bit faster. 1 and 2 and D, D, E, F, D, E, stretch up. D, E, F, G, A, G, stretch E. Now, hopefully, obviously, if you're working on this video, you're looking at grade 5. You know, hopefully your skills of reading, especially with a little bit of guidance I've given you there with how it works with the compound time, the 1 and a 2 and a bit. You should have everything you need to put that together yourself. However, it's going to take you a few goes. You're not going to just suddenly magically get that hands together. I'll show you the second line now, hands together, but as I say, this is something you might want to return to. You can always come back to this video later and skip through to this towards the end where this bit is. But this is what the second line is played hands together. And I'm just going to go super slow, almost the way I would is if I was playing it for the first time and getting familiar with it. So I've got the D there, I've got the D there, I've got the stretch out. So this is bar 5. So I'm not really going to count, I'm just going to go and. So it goes, and so you first of all you do that, and that goes up. Now you're going to do that again with the left hand walking up. Now find the chord, and there's an E to go with it. Now remember that little rest, so that's on its own. Then they walk together. Don't forget to stretch up far enough. Then the left hand carries on. Now as it carries on up, that chord, walking away from each other, 1s and 4s. I'm just going to do that a few times, okay? So here it is again from bar 5. So it goes Ds. So try and look at the music as we do this. Walking up together. That's the second one. Now, can you see the left hand goes first? Because there's a rest. Then they go together. Together. Now, rest to the right. Left hand's walking up. When you get to the G, that chord, stretch onto the 3. Find your new chord position there. And then find your Ds and your As. One more of this together, bar 5, and D. So that's the whole thing. So there's probably quite a bit of work there, but I just want to leave you this video because I'm not going to make lots of different videos about this, just the one video to help you with this. If you look at the speed of it at the beginning, remember when we're counting in compound time, especially if it's in dotted crotchets, the thing that tells you how fast it's in should give dotted crotchets as well. And there it is at the very beginning. You've got this thing that says expressively, and you've got a dotted crotchet equals 60. The C bit means per minute, okay? So it's not 60 crotchets a minute, it's 60 dotted crotchets. Why? Because they're not trying to be difficult. The dotted crotchets are the beats. So when it's going 1 and 2 and each beat is a dotted crotchet. So it's saying 60. Shall we have a look at what that is? So on my metronome, and remember, if you haven't got a metronome on your piano, you can always just get a little metronome app. So that's 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. Okay. So this would be the full speed. I'll put a bit of pedal in, just to give you an idea how it's going to go. Fairly quiet, so it's going to go. Getting a bit louder. Getting quieter. No pedal. Pulling back, getting quieter. Pedal on for the end. And that's your whole thing. So remember, it's all about work carefully from the music, and remember compound time. Everyone gets so confused about compound time. It's not that hard. You just remember you're counting dotted crotchets. So 6/8 means 2 dotted crotchets. 9/8 means 3 dotted crotchets in a bar, and 12/8 means 4 dotted crotchets in a bar.